So, hi everybody, thanks for joining and thanks to Argent and all the sponsors for organizing. We are trying to do something a little bit different today, so we'll do a Thai boxing match, which is going to be maybe a bit more friendly than expected, so there will be no blood over there. But we will fight to try to convince you, or at least to try to know which way you want to go and which way you think the space is going to advance. So we are going to make this about smart account versus smarter EOAs. And for that, we have a few contestants among us, so which will be fighting with teams or not. So we have Arik from Fireblocks, Ivo from Ambire, which are on the same team, Team Smarter EOAs, and Valentin from Safe, Rafi from Clave, on Team Smart Accounts. And I think maybe we can start by doing a quick intro and maybe explain what is a smarter EOA, because it's not something that's defined in the specification. I don't think you have heard that term. So that's, well, it's a good opportunity to do it. Maybe I can start as a moderator to get the ball rolling. I will quote Jérôme, because he has made a lot of, he asked everybody to saw my talk, so I'm going to do the same thing. No, but he spoke about Polymarket, and I think Polymarket is a great example. It's probably the world's best known application right now that doesn't say that they are doing smart accounts. And well, we can consider it as a smarter EOA, because in the end it's a smart account that just hides all the complexity from gas and from transaction bundling. So moderator privilege, I started, up to you. Please tell me what you think is a smart account, and to make things a little bit more interactive, we are going to display a poll on screen so that you can vote, and you can say, well, what is your opinion on that?
Hey everyone, should we introduce ourselves, by the way?
Yeah, quickly, of course.
Okay, so I'm Ivo, I'm the founder of Ambire, and Ambire is a hybrid account abstraction browser extension, and I would say it's the first account abstraction wallet for crypto natives, actually, and this will be also a topic of this panel, because we represent perfectly the philosophy of a smarter EOA. And for me, a smarter EOA is an account that combines the simplicity of an EOA with some account abstraction features, but there are some limitations to a smarter EOA. Like, for example, it's not a multi-sig, but I would say for 99% of users, even crypto natives, it should be more than adequate.
Hi, I'm Valentin. I'm DevRel at Safe, and I really wanted to have a spicy debate here. And obviously, I work at Safe. We power the smart accounts behind Polymarket and WorldCoin, so I couldn't go on the EOA side. So I try to be on the even more abstracted side. So here's my thesis. I think we are not abstracting enough. We don't have to abstract away accounts or chains. We have to abstract like everything to not only onboard the next billion users, but the next 5 billion users with like seemingly UX. And if we don't do it, other people will do it, and these people will like be big banks or big tech that don't incorporate crypto values. So yeah, so that's basically my position. We don't even have to abstract away accounts with smart accounts, obviously, but we have to abstract away even more. So yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Arik from Fireblocks. We're basically an infrastructure provider, mostly for companies, institutions, for their digital asset operations. Most known for the MPC wallets that Fireblocks kind of initiated and was very predominant in pushing in the ecosystem. Again, for some of the people that are a bit less familiar, Fireblocks has been responsible so far for securing $6 trillion using our system, and that's 6 with a T, like the meme goes. So I think that the progressive approach going through smarter EOAs towards more and more account abstraction capabilities is almost a necessity. We've seen the traction, the initial traction that account abstraction has already gotten, but there is so much more to go before we have this across everything that is happening. And I think the progressive approach is actually what's going to bring this adoption of the things that people really care about in the capabilities, and over time towards more and more kind of the things that are not immediately user-facing.
Hey everyone, I'm Rafi. I'm the co-founder of Clave. Today we will be defending more towards smart accounts versus smarter EOAs. And I think the main defending point would be we do not need another intermediary step for bringing the best UX on chain. We can have the best smart accounts right now, and then progressive from the 4337 and 7579 to bring the best user adoption to on-chain.
Okay, so well, the good thing is that I think we have a definition now. At least we heard different things. So some people think that we are moving too fast. Other people think that we are not moving fast enough. But that's okay. But we can try to dig a little bit more into this. And let's say, well, we know that we can build smarter EOAs right now because we already have them. But let's think about what would be the best reason right now for not moving to smart accounts directly, in your opinion.
So I have some perspective on this. With Ambire, we built a version 1, which was more of a technological preview, and it was a web wallet, and it only supported true smart accounts with multi-sig signing, like for example from 2 devices, and with other things. But the issue we had, the main issue with acquiring users, was that people want to use their EOAs. Even if you provide them something better, there is still a lot of staking positions that they cannot move, a lot of sold-out NFTs. So they need a solution which needs like both account types in one place, and if you have both account types in one place, it's really easy to add 7702 and turn the EOAs into smarter EOAs. So I think it's just a matter of very, very strong habits. So that's why I believe we need a progressive solution. But by the way, this is going to be the most non-aggressive boxing match in history, because 3 of the people on the panel believe in the progressive approach. So yeah, let's try to make it more spicy.
I thought it's the other way around. 3 smart contract wallets, and I'm the only guy with an MPC wallet and a bad knee. So like, feels almost unfair. So I think that a lot of the people that think that like EOAs are not still going away think it's just because of habit changes, right? That's obviously important. It's hard to get people to change habits, but also there's just like real advantages currently to EOAs over smart contract wallets. For example, a lot of times when people talk about the security, they're like, smart contracts are more secure, but they kind of totally don't talk about the fact that we have like, systems, MPC wallets that bring so much security to the EOAs that is by far more than what you have in smart contract wallets right now on an average, right? And it's not just about the security. At some point, we thought smart contract wallets have it solved, and then there's like 700 new L2s, and we understand that some of the things we thought are kind of solved for a single chain are not really solved when I think yesterday 3 new chains maybe were announced, right? So like suddenly it's like, it's more complex. Now I'm not saying it's not solvable. There's a lot of things that are happening to solve those things over time, but they're not solved yet. There's a lot of dApps that don't support smart wallets yet, and some of them cannot be changed, so they will never support them. We don't have a unified approach towards modularity of smart contracts, smart contract wallets. Now there's obviously 5792 is very predominant right now, but there's also 6900 that still have some people that are pushing towards that. What if you choose the wrong one? Right, so there's like things we're still solving through, getting the security to the right place, getting modularity to the right place, getting chain abstraction and cross-chain operations to the right place. And all of those things have, at least to some extent, been solved already in the more sophisticated wallets on the EOA side. So saying, drop all of that and just move today is something that not every user is willing to do, especially if they have a lot of money on that wallet.
So I want to talk about a bit of the harsh reality of current users. So we are now telling that we cannot change the users' habits of keeping 12-word seed phrases in their safe boxes that is written on a paper. And we are telling that this is a habit that we cannot change, and we do need a long time to change it. I do not agree with it. I think the current users of probably a couple of 10,000s, besides the OGs that are sitting here, what we need to aim for is the exchange users that have never been touching to on-chain transactions. and they do think the crypto is just a centralized, that is just made out of centralized exchanges. So in order to onboard them onto real on-chain transactions, we cannot provide them 12-word seed phrases, or, well, possibly the MPC is a good solution for that, but I would debate about the security case, which would take another 30 minutes of our discussion. But on the user experience and the current targeting strategy of the users, I think we all should focus in the bigger pool that has the actual volume and liquidity by providing the best UX as soon as possible.
By the way, I didn't necessarily mean habit changes. I meant like practical difficulties. Like for example, it's really hard to migrate your Aave. It's impossible to migrate some staking positions, soulbound tokens also. So it's the practicality of it, not so much habits.
No, I do agree. I'm still using EOA, to be honest.
Exactly,
we do have a smart
From the poll that we asked everyone here whether they use a smart account, how many people still use EOAs? See? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. But the thing is, I'm just telling that this does not, like, all of these people that are attending to DevCon, they're coming like thousands of kilometers to talk about blockchain or listen about blockchain. Yeah. I mean, they will always keep there. They will always be there for EOAs. But in the progressive approach of Ethereum, I think we do need to expedite the things a little bit more instead of turning back to EOAs and say like, okay, let's give a bit more special forces to EOAs like 7702. I think we do need to focus on more native account abstraction as we did in 4337 to bring more users to Ethereum. I think the current users have enough solutions. If someone is already got used to using seed phrases or private keys, they would probably prepare their own transaction by JavaScript or Python. They're degen enough already. What we need is the users that have not been there yet. That's why I think the native account abstraction and the approach of the EVM on 7579 is should be a bit more expedited.
Can I second that? Because I think it's not either or, it's both and more. So I think the progressive approach is for the current users like us, like technical users that are in for values, in for the tech, that like to manage their private keys. And I think that Fireblocks manages more, how many trillions were it, is actually a proof that there's a second user group of crypto that wants to get crypto exposure, to which we could call it opportunity driven, but they don't want to manage their own private keys. And what smart accounts are, is they offer a solution to these users, to these customers, where they don't have to manage their private key and they don't have to use an intermediary. And this is why I think smart accounts are important, because it's an inherent value of crypto to reduce intermediaries, and these users should be able to hold self-custody about their crypto assets, and this is what smart accounts are. So a progressive EOA, 7702 and so on, will enable like people that actually have soulbound tokens to migrate to a smart account, yes, but I think smart accounts are actually the technology that enable the next users, the institutional users, the users that don't want to deal with the private keys.
So I have a bit of a hot take here. Why should we separate ourselves, and why should we say that we are technical and we are used to having bad UX? Basically, I'm not saying you're saying this, but what I'm saying is that even for us, for the crypto natives, we would still love a wallet that works like Revolut, right? Everyone here would love an app that has great UX. So I think that we shouldn't make that distinction between the next billion and current crypto natives. I think the right product will be something that both current crypto natives can use and the next billion can use later on. And there could be still differences in how the custody works. Like for example, for someone who is completely new, they can choose to have a company as their guardian. But for someone experienced, they can choose to have their seed phrase key as the guardian. So yeah, you can have differences in how the custody works, but the product could be the same. So I don't think there should be a distinction.
So I think to some extent we got the best option in the reality, right? Because a year ago, 2 years ago, depending when you start counting, 4337 was introduced. And I'm sure that if 95% of the people here would have moved to account abstraction wallet, that would have been the last account abstraction change, right, before making them native. But that didn't happen. And so what we as an ecosystem got to do is be agile, and we learned. So here's the things that people didn't migrate because of, right? Here's the kind of people that didn't migrate, here's the reasons they didn't migrate, and now we're doing a second iteration to push another batch of people into this territory of more account abstracted than before, right? And we're going to learn from that as well. And maybe the third step is full migration, or maybe the third step is another step that we understand then is needed, right? Like this agility that we introduced in the process, maybe intentionally, possibly even more unintentionally, is actually very good. So I think assuming that we're finished with the agile approach and we're now going full scale at everything, just I don't see any parameters that make me feel like we're at that point. Like, let's see what happens. We have 7702 coming up. A lot of new accounts are going to start introducing some level of smart contract wallet into their operation. It's probably going to start with the things users care about the most, and over time go to more and more niche use cases. Let's learn from that, understand what needs to be built, and also see how the ecosystem evolved, because we didn't expect to have so many L2s some time ago. Now we do. Let's see how that gets solved and continue to iterate.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be a fight, but I do agree with all three of the guys that are sitting there. But the thing is, so I think we all know regarding the roadmap alignment, the future is smart accounts, smart contract accounts. I think the debate here is whether or not we should invest more into EOAs by bringing client-level EIPs, or should we go back to focusing on smart contract improvements, which I do defend that. I think the native account abstraction on Starknet or zk-Sync or the other chains that are now, the other layer 2s that are now implementing is a good sign. And besides that, we do need to improve on top of the current account abstraction standards that are brought with smart accounts. So all I'm saying is I don't really think that we do need one more step and then one more step to expedite this whole process to another 10 years to bring the best user experience.
Yeah, and I would agree with that, because we've seen that, well, people don't need permission to build that kind of things. Again, it's the example of Polymarket. I mean, Polymarket was just using the tools that are existing today. They managed to build their own gas abstraction tool using solutions that were already there without paymasters. So yeah, people can build a solution, and we have a roadmap in the future to move to smart accounts. So as we mentioned with 7702, it's there. Well, it's almost there, but at least, well, I think that's where the roadmap is going. So
maybe it's worth saying that when we talk about progressive, not progressive, most of the time we think about the blockchain level itself, right? Like the EIPs, but then there's applications, and they have to evolve as well, right? Like the API between the application and the wallets with the different wallet capabilities. They're also working on, like, there's a lot of work on different standards and things like that hasn't been adopted yet by most dApps. So even evolving this communication layer and understanding how that builds up, again, there's a lot of great initiatives right now for batching transaction from the dApp to the wallets, and allowing like interaction around who pays the fees for the transaction. But then you need to start thinking how you do this cross-chain and things like that. So there's a lot of involvement on the communication between application and wallet, and it's not just the wallet thing. Like the change does not come from changing wallet. It comes from changing the entire stack in the process.
okay, so well, I think we are going to be wrapping it up, because we have 1 minute left. And well, so in conclusion, it wasn't really a fight, as you have seen. I hope it expanded your horizon of different, well, way to look at the same problem in the end. You learned a bit more about MPC, you learned a bit more about the different solutions that we can have today. So smart wallets are the winner, at least the popular winners. So yes, I think that's true, because you are going to implement smarter EOAs with them. So it works. You know, I don't know if you can change votes, but if not, then we would like to make some work to convince the one guy that doesn't like self-custody. So maybe it's too late, or maybe it's a troll, I'm not sure. But well, I hope you enjoyed the debate, and well, and you're going to enjoy the remaining part of the afternoon. And thank you all.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.